Cancers, what's up? Welcome to my channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. We're going to read your tarot cards here today. These are general messages on YouTube, so that means not everything I say will resonate with every single Cancer out there every week. Please know that in advance. That being said, I hope lots of this does connect with your energy, resonate for you, motivate you, empower you, inspire you. If that's not the case, it might not be your message, but feel free to check back at another time. You are in control of all your own actions and decisions. You're responsible for them and accountable for them, all right? That's my spiel. Let's get to it. Let's connect with those Cancers out there. Cancers, let's get some messages connecting to the Cancer crowd. Are you wondering about a male earth sign? Yeah, you'll hear from them. They into you. They think you're cute. All right, here we go, for real. We're going to do a little quick spread, past, present, and future, what to release and what to embrace, okay? For Cancer, what are we building upon? A little bit of rest, a little bit of delay, but boom, showing up in the middle of your spread. Love it, Cancer. That's your card, the Chariot. Showing up in your power. Oh my gosh. It's so funny. When I put that card down, I heard the future is unwritten. There's something very like... Both these are very much connected to Cancerian energy. The Chariot is like your major arcana, and the High Priestess represents more of moon energy. So Cancers, you are my moon babies, my wild moon child, right? You guys are ruled by the moon. So you're coming up here twice, and something about this, the High Priestess is very intuitive, very sort of divine feminine energy. She's more receptive versus sort of assertive, aggressive. She's very calm. She sort of, lets the information from the divine sort of flow over her and through her. I'm hearing words like patience. The messages are around you. It's like I'm hearing the word funneling through you or flowing through you. It's like the information you need or the answers you seek, they're already around you. So trust your intuition, because this says to me, you are absolutely coming up in your highest power. This isn't a low vibing Cancer, right? And maybe you're dealing with another one for that matter, but there's something about raising it from like conscious to super conscious, or there's like an upgrade in your spiritual downloads this week. And I mean, it's a very kind of interesting week. There is, of course, the lunar eclipse happening. Mercury's about to go retrograde. There's a lot happening this week. So, anticipate that there may be sort of some abrupt or unusual flows of energy, but this actually says to me, you guys got this on lock. If you remember to stay calm, to stay peaceful, mind, body, and spirit, there's progress. This is a card of victory. There's forward movement. The Chariot is like the little the car, automobile of the tarot deck here. So yeah, there's forward progress and movement being made. I think at the highest level, though, you're being asked to remain calm. And if this isn't representing you, Cancer, maybe this has to do with your spirit guide or your angel gang. They're showing up for you, right here. So you have very strong cards. You also have a Fire King showing up bottom of the deck. We'll see if he comes out again. What is it about the Fire King? What do we need to know about the Fire King? They may flirt with you too, or something with your child, especially fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sag, something with the child may be coming up. One may be coming to visit you. Yeah, there could be a reunion with a Fire King, especially a friends group, some sort of a social gathering. The fact that I read this as the past, if it's not, I'm not necessarily saying it has to be years or months ago, right? But, recent past, you're building on a foundation where maybe you just kind of had to take a breath, you had to take a breather, you had to think about some sort of decision internally and maybe not rush to the decision. The thing is, I think you've known the answer all along. Maybe you just needed to offer yourself that little time out to kind of collect your thoughts, to even collect your breath. There's something very kind of meditative about the High Priestess, and you're going to be able to move forward soon. So even if you're in some weird transition or delay where it feels stagnant, it feels like you're not growing, I see that changing rather quickly. I don't see it being shocking. I don't see it being disappointing. I think this is it's funny. I'm getting a message of something may not have worked out and you may have been a little bit bummed about it, but in the hindsight or in the back of your mind, you're like, I feel like this isn't over though. I just feel like it's going to happen this way, even though the logic may make the counterproductive, that's not the word. It may contradict or counteract the word that was given, the news you heard. There may be miscommunication. There's a lot of that right now as we're leading up to the retrograde. But also, I think planet Mercury, which has a lot to do with our communications, our thought process, sort of our mental agility and all that, it's being squared by Neptune, which is the planet of like dreaminess and fogginess and surreal and all that kind of stuff. So something about the communication, you may have been like, oh, that's not what I thought. And maybe that gives you, pause or delay, or you can't move forward with the plans. I would not count on that, though, because I see you getting out of bed in the morning and be like, oh, we are going to go do that thing. But the thing is, you're like, I knew it. I knew that's what was going to happen. Trust your intuition, Cancer. Like this week anyway, in this reading, you're on fire. It just seems like you're showing up in your power, and there's a trust in the universe and a trust in the divine. All right, here we go. Let's, I feel like I spent a lot of time on those 3 cards. Cancer. All right. It's coming up on, it's Gemini season, so if any of my Cancers are cuspy, happy early birthday. But after that, it's you guys, it's Cancer. All right, so what is it that Cancer needs to release? Something that maybe they've been leaning into too much, or it's just time to sort of move away from that, to detach from it for a bit? What should they release or move away from this week? That one's sticking out. We'll take that one. What's it going to be? The past. Interesting. Sometimes this can be a card of soulmates or siblings. To be honest, though, I think the main message here is home. A lot of times this is connected to the past, to our roots. It could be, yes, you could say ancestry, but it could even be siblings. I don't know. The six of Cups is usually the past and soulmates. Now, it's not the ex that you hate. It's not the toxic person. Just simply the energy here. It's very sweet. It's very innocent. It's very just someone who loves you easily without any sort of negotiation, or however you want to say it. You may actually be moving away from the past, but I think whatever you're moving towards, it's going to more than make up for what you have to leave behind. And maybe this is temporary. Maybe this is the universe trying to get you out of the comfort zone, so you go on that job interview in a different location, or you go meet up with those friends, away from the past, away from home. I'm going to be honest, the card coming up is what you need to move away from. It's not a bad card. It's just saying this isn't needed right now. This isn't needed that week. It could even be codependency, and I know we think of that word as so scary, and I feel attacked, I'm not codependent. It might just mean getting away from sort of group activities, because maybe some of you are meant to go off and do something on your own without sort of that co-pilot, without sort of that person to lean on. Because what is that going to do? It's going to build your confidence. She's confident as you know what, right? I think this is you stepping into like a higher version of yourself, the best version of yourself, right? Cancer, this is a great reading. I'm into it, but I don't have a lot of extra stuff to tell you because you don't have a lot of tricky cards yet. So let's see if we get one. What does Cancer need to move towards, or something that, what I'm going to call embrace? If you're being asked to release the past, what are we sort of moving towards to fill that gap or broaden our horizons? What is Cancer needing to move towards, or think about more, lean into, embrace? What does Cancer need to embrace this week for Cancer? Cancer. All right, so 7 of Swords. This card has so many narratives. This is where it gets more complicated, because I could spend 10 minutes talking about this one card, which I'm going to try not to do. 7 of Swords. Any 7 in tarot is about an assessment. So it could be something that you're contemplating. I think you move forward on it, whatever this is. Again, the rest, the pause, the delay. Eventually it's like, okay, kick it into high gear. Here we go. But with this decision, it may sort of, I'm almost seeing dominoes fall on top of each other. It may impact you to have to make more quick decisions. And I'm almost getting you have to be quick on your toes. You need to be very careful with your words. And sometimes this can be the liar, cheat, or thief card. Here's the thing. For most of you, I think it's being very tight-lipped. I think it's being careful what you share and with whom, so that the repercussions are not negatively impacting your strides forward. I also think this is saying watch where you're going. I would even be cautious of traffic bumps or traffic jams or collisions. Just like quite literally in your car, watch where you're going. Don't be looking this way and pulling ahead. Of course, that could be a metaphor as well. I don't do scary predictions, but Yeah, I mean, with this guy, he's looking back, right? There's a need to detach from whatever this is because it is temporary, right? Those circus tents. The circus comes to town and then it leaves. It's temporary. But then if it's temporary, why is he wanting to keep his 2 swords stuck in the ground there? I always sort of see this as I'm going to leave my foot in the door just in case I want to revisit that. I think it might be this. I think some of you may be trying to detach from the past, and please don't be offended. I never ever mean to bring it that way, but this is sometimes where are we lying to ourselves. A lot of times when I do like relationship readings, this is like, I don't think about my ex, I'm over them. But I'm still going to look them up on Instagram. Like, that's sort of how I see this card. So it's not necessarily, infidelity cheating, but again, where are you playing tricks on yourself, or where are you not wanting to accept or acknowledge the truth, or where, you can say blocking your blessings, where are you just maybe needing to tidy things up a bit, especially mentally, right? Maybe sort of, have you already come to some conclusion internally and you're ready to move forward in a new direction, but your mind still wanders back to the past on occasion, right? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but again, if you're showing up for this tarot reading, you're trying to gain, a new perspective on something. If you're being asked to move away from the past, quite clearly he's looking behind him, right? So what you maybe need to lean into more this week is just simply getting comfortable with the idea of leaving the past behind. This is the dawning of a new day, Cancer. This is the new chapter. So, whatever you make it out to be will be, right? If you're telling yourselves, oh, I can't do this is too much, or I don't trust myself, there's a lot of trust issues in this card, whether it's not trusting those around you or yourself. It's just something the universe is wanting you to acknowledge this week and look into. The Seven of Swords, I believe the planetary connotation or assimilation, however you want to say it, is the moon in Aquarius. So again, my Cancer babies, if you are watching this and you are a Cancer, you're ruled by the moon. So the moon is essentially your core, the way you nourish yourself. You're very connected to the transit of the moon, which is the fastest moving planet. You're right, it's not a planet, right? It's a luminary, but we associate it in astrology as a planet, sort of. So the moon changes cycles, every 2.5 days, it's in a different zodiac sign, right? So there is a lot of change and movement, but again, there may be that connection to as soon as you get comfortable, you have to up and leave it. And maybe there's some adjustment as you find your new home, as you find your new job, as you find your new group of friends, whatever this is. Trust yourself. And if you did make the decision to move forward, specifically with this card, I think the universe is saying, but why? Why don't you trust yourself? Or why do you, more than likely, why do you feel the need to move back? I think it's time to make good on your decisions to move forward and come to terms with leaving something in the past once and for all. Maybe some of you feel like you need to revisit something from the past once and for all so that you can officially kind of double down on this moving away from not necessarily a negative situation. I wouldn't say that. Again, I don't think for most of you this is the toxic ex. There may be something in your past that you're needing to revisit this week and sort of bring it to fruition or fulfillment in terms of, I can move away from this comfortably and not always be looking back thinking what if or shoulda, coulda, wouldas. I think that might be this. And some of you may have tried to revisit something from the past and it just didn't work at the time. Something about that, I think you're going to have a victory. That thing for my Cancers, I just keep hearing, I always knew that was going to be a thing. Or Mercury retrograde, maybe an ex is going to text you, right? I always knew we weren't done. I always knew we would hear from them again, or something like that. It could be that you've sort of been in Eight of Swords. Yes, this is 7. Eight of Swords is the circle of swords, the mental prison. It could be that to move forward on your spiritual path, towards your destiny, the universe is saying we do need to revisit that temporary situation and wrap it up so that we can move on from it for good. I think that's what this might be. So anyway, Cancer, that's what I got for you this week. Your cards are very strong, and I'm pretty much a straight shooter. If you're new to my channel, you might not know that, but I don't get terrible vibes from this. The Seven of Swords does not have a great reputation, but I think this is you needing to establish more trust in yourself, especially independently, confidently, on your own. Again, moving away from sort of the buddy-buddy dynamic or the team dynamic. There's nothing wrong with that. It serves a purpose throughout our life. But this week especially, it's like you're in the spotlight on your own, that bright yellow. It's like the universe is shining a spotlight, and it's almost like it caught you off guard. It's like you're tiptoeing, and then there's a spotlight on you. You're like, oh, me? And it's like, yes, you. What are you doing? What do you want? Who do you love? What do you want to be, Cancer? And don't second guess it. I would even say don't apologize for yourself. As long as you're moving forward and making decisions based on your own happiness, no selfishness or malintent in terms of external bodies, do it for you, and that's the decision. That's what's going to help move you forward. And again, kind of put you in this really, what I'm wanting to say, like higher position, power player position, major arcana, right? These are big and they're both Cancerian. So there may be a connection from the past with Cancers, maybe even Pisces coming through, a little Scorpio, little Aquarius, take it or leave it. All right, Cancer, that's what I got for you this week. Please remember to like the video, guys. That really does help me. Subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and I will see you next Monday for more tarot. Bye, guys.